Hello, Jim Howard here in Fort Worth, Texas. Today's date... Oh, no, please don't. This cat loves to knock batteries off onto the floor and roll them around underneath things where I can't find them. Today's date, it is August 12th, 2016. It is 5:45 a.m. in the morning. I don't know what the temperature is. It's probably... It was 104 yesterday, Fahrenheit. And fingerprint scanner, by the way, works good on this cell phone. Okay, it's 82 degrees right now. And it is going to be... I don't think you can see it because it's too bright. Oh, now another thing to... Okay, well, at least she's on the floor now. It's going to be 106 today in Fort Worth. You know, kitty cat, I'm going to need that part, and you're going to roll it underneath something, and with my arthritis, I'm never going to be able to find it. Anyway, it's just going to be a video blog. Nothing important. You can skip this if you want to. Now the cat is rubbing against my foot. Yesterday my daughter Hillary took me to a Mongolian Chinese restaurant that has a buffet. I love a buffet. But and then after that we went to a pet store that was in the shopping mall there. But Hillary said that she'd prefer to go to some place and like have a steak dinner or something like that. And I was telling her, no, I really like the buffet where I can get a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and try it all and then go back and everything. So I filled up, well, 2 plates is all. And not big plate. I can't eat a lot at one. I know it looks like, but I can't eat a lot. Never have been able to eat a lot at one time. But then I was so full yesterday, and I was too full to. I need to do some reviews, Amazon reviews. I got this headset, got some other stuff, and I'm behind in doing them. I was just too full to do anything. So I got a day I didn't do anything. But I was thinking, and you know, I think Hillary is correct. I think I made a mistake my entire life, and maybe that's tells me a little bit about my life. Like I love going to the Chinese buffets. I go and I try a little bit of these different ones on the plate. I go back and, oh, that's delicious. Oh, that's delicious. I don't care for that too much. Don't care for that too much. So then I take my plate and I go back and I get a little bit more of this damn cat. A little bit more of the cat. Get away. I go back for my second plate. No, that's it. Get down. Get down. I can't deal with it right now. I go back and I get a little bit more of the stuff that I really liked, a little bit more. I don't get the stuff I didn't like. I try out a couple different items, come back. By that time, I'm filled up. You know what I was thinking? I think that's sort of my life. I think that's what I've done with my life, and what a mistake that probably is. I never pursued anything all the way. I sampled everything. I know a lot about a lot of different things, but I don't know a lot about one thing. You know, I've been blogging since 1980. Been blogging since 1982. Back quite a few years ago. I paid a small amount of money there was a couple sites that did it, and you pay them $5 or something like that, and somebody would review your site and then write a review of it. And so I paid a couple of different people, small amount of money. They reviewed my site, and I could get their opinion of it. Well, they published it on their site, and then I could review it. And both of them said, he claimed that he's been online since 1982. Well, he hasn't been online since 1982 because he admits that he doesn't know very much about, one person, I think it was, choosing colors for his site or something else. And the other person meant something else, that, well, he doesn't know about such and then. And doesn't know about such and such. If he'd been around since 1982, he would know about that. No, I got a new ham radio back a couple weeks ago. I put in the local frequencies. I haven't bothered to read the manual. I haven't even put in, this is digital, I haven't even put in the non-digital frequencies that I should put in here, so I haven't even done that yet. Now here's an analog radio, not digital, same thing, ham radio, holds like I think 999 frequencies. And I have probably put in 15 local repeater frequencies, and I haven't bothered to put in anything else. I've reviewed a whole bunch of cameras and other things, and this is a really nice camera. Panasonic. I like Panasonic. This is the DMC LX7. It's a nice camera. You can do a lot with it. There's a guy, I've gone to his site and watched some of his videos, and he knows every thing about this and other cameras, and he makes fantastic. I have this thing set on point and shoot, or on automatic 99.9%, almost all. That's all hell. Okay, it's on automatic all the time, and that's how I shoot my pictures. I think I've made a mistake, and I'm 75 now. I can't go back. So, if you're young, what would the moral of this story be? Well, of course, I did throw myself into some things in a big way, and maybe I devoted too much time to them. When I was in high school, I was in civil defense, the Ground Observer Corps, and things like that. When I was going to high school, I went and in the Civil Air Patrol or whatever, not Civil Air Patrol. Ground Observer Corps. I was standing post on top of on a military base, on top of a Army Record Center up in a place on top. I was watching for enemy aircraft, standing 2-hour shifts along with other people. And I was going to a Catholic military high school, and I would carry my books home. My books, you know how you sell your books at the end of the year or for the new year or whatever. The books I sold or somebody bought for me, they looked like they were brand new. I carried them home every day, just about probably run my shoulder. Maybe that's why arthritis is so bad. For 4 years, carried them home on the public bus or whatever, and never opened them. Of course, I flunked class after class and had to go to summer school all 4 years. But we had a military officer that came one time to the high school to give a lecture on nuclear weapons or nuclear war. And I was not somebody in class that spoke up very often or said anything. I just sat there hoping and praying I didn't get called on. Even if I knew the answer, I didn't want to be called on. But he was giving his presentation, and then he's asking, we have the entire, well, I don't think it was the entire 400 or 500 students. I think we probably were maybe just freshmen or sophomore, a class of 100 something. And so, he's, okay, what type of nuclear blast are there? Who knows? I put my hand up. I told him. And then as he's doing nobody else is saying it, And then as he finishes it, and as he brings up and asks his question, because I was in civil defense. And so then as I'm leaving, he says, come over here, I go over and he says, are you in civil defense? And I said, yeah. He said, oh, okay, I wondered. But also when I was in high school, I was doing a radio program that was, because I was interested in shortwave radio, and I really went into shortwave radio. Maybe I go into things that have no intrinsic value, that don't, but I did a weekly radio program that was broadcast 3 times a week around the world to Europe, Africa, and Latin America. I put out a publication, club shortwave publication that went around. 500 copies went out a month. It would take me about a month to get out the issue. 16 pages, 500 of them, mimeographed. Well, man, if there'd have been computers and computer printers, oh, that would have been so great. I had to put them out all by hand. I had to, mimeograph them off. It was all this kind of stuff. But and I had a gigantic dining room table, and I'd stack them and just walk around putting them together, staple it, and put a label on it and send it out to the members. And I was doing that when I was in high school instead of studying. Anyway, I think maybe I should just decide, back to food, maybe I should just decide on, this is my daughter, this is after we left the place to eat. There was a is it Pet Mart or Pet something? They're a big one, really big. And so, whoops, wanted to show the rest of the pictures. Shouldn't have clicked. So we went over, Hillary wanted to go over there, so we went over there. They have these cages in there. The pet places that try to save pets and whatever, Pet Mart or whatever it is. They have these cages here, and they have this little room, and there must be about 12 of them. And so they have cats in there, and they don't. In order to adopt them, it costs $30, and they have the shots and all that type of stuff is done. Just $30 to adopt one of these cats, and the store isn't selling them. They're just helping the Humane Society. That was the name I was looking for. But of course, I'm sure that lots of people go to see the cats, and then I'm sure if people who adopt a cat spend a ton of money getting stuff for the cat. You would not believe how many, before, I've been here for years, we had no pets. They had no cat. My daughter Hillary came here from Sweden. She's a dual citizen, U.S. citizen and a Swedish citizen. And we have a cat. And you would not believe how many cat toys we have, how many, and plus Hillary's taking care of all the feral cats in this area, trapping some of that she can trap and having them fixed. But she loves animals. So she was at the pet store. They have signs here, do not touch the cats. And of course she was touching the cats. And then she was talking to the birds and the lizards and the snakes. And I pretended like I didn't know her. Of course, I think my grandson and my kids all probably pretend like they don't know me. Did I want to mention the news? Let's pull up the news here. Phelps, you know, the swimmer or whatever. I've never liked the guy for some reason. I mean, fantastic swimmers, fantastic sportsman, everything else. There's something about the guy I never liked. Maybe that he's young and an athlete. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Bomb blast hits tourist area in Thailand. When President Bush Jr. was elected first time after that, I thought if he's reelected, I looked at living in Thailand. I was looking at reading the video, YouTube reports from the people that live there and their blogs that they wrote and whatever. I started doing it again. I'm not going to be moving to Thailand, but I could actually, I'm on a limited, I'm on Social Security and a small amount of extra. I could actually live in Thailand pretty well, but the problems with you'd have trouble. Not a lot of people in Thailand speak English, except probably for the sex trade workers. But also with my hearing, I would be, and with my arthritis and what have you, the people I've watched that are living, but I could live on, I could live very well on where I can't hear. Here it's hand to mouth, just making it from check to check. Over there, I would have quite a bit of money left over, about half of my money or more left over, but not going to happen. I can't remember the last time I bought a lottery ticket, but my dream would be to win a lottery, buy an island. In the past, I've looked online at islands, and when I look at islands, I look at the ones that are really expensive, I don't look at the ones that are just, $1 million or $2 million or $3 million. No, I want to look at the ones that are $30 million and think, that's the island that I would buy. I don't see it here, but I'm sure it's here. Well, boy falls from roller coaster. In the last 5 days, there have been 4 accidents at theme parks or whatever. And then I just saw, I think it was yesterday or maybe this morning, I was looking. I thought that one boy in Kansas on the world's highest water slide, I thought that he probably snapped his neck and he was decapitated. And then there it is, boy falls from roller coaster. No, that's not it. That's the other one, the new one. I'm not even going to mention Donald Trump. I can't believe. I started to make a video the other day when Trump said, I don't even want to say what he said. I've lived through the assassination. You know, when I was in high school, John F. Kennedy, I mentioned this before, I think, in a video. He was trying to get on the vice presidential slot and at the convention, and he didn't make it. And then 4 years later, he not only became the Democratic presidential candidate, he won. I was in Cleveland, left Kansas City, Missouri, and went to Cleveland, Ohio. Actually, it was in Euclid, Ohio. Lincoln Electric Company factory there, and went to welding school there. And I had to vote by absentee ballot for John F. Kennedy, and I voted. And then he called for, he called for formation of the Peace Corps. I was one of the first people. They was the first test that were given in Kansas City, Missouri. I was there, and I took the test for the Peace Corps, and I aced it. It was unbelievable. It was like I had written the test. I'm sure they changed it after that. It was brand new. Actually, I got a letter. I'm sure it was signed by a machine, but I got the Lyndon Johnson, Vice President Lyndon Johnson, was in charge of the Peace Corps, and I got a letter from Vice President Johnson when I expressed interest in the Peace Corps, and when I went and took the test, I didn't end up in the Peace Corps. Another thing of me doing something and not going all the way, maybe. But so I was a big John F. Kennedy fan, and wonder if I need to change this. I don't want to be hit for some type of a violation. So I was actually doing my radio program. That was when I was doing my radio program. John F. Kennedy was elected. I was still doing my radio program weekly, working as a welder, but I was doing my shortwave broadcast DX program. And I was listening that day to the radio station that was my program wasn't on then, but I was listening to WRUL Radio New York Worldwide, and I heard they said, broke in and said, shots have been fired at the presidential motorcade in Dallas. And I didn't know that Kennedy had gone to Dallas. I hadn't caught that on the news. I wasn't following that. And so then, like the rest of the United States, he was. And when the first reports came, of course, I switched over to television, CBS, Walter Cronkite, and then watched, and for the next few days, that's all everybody was watching. And then a day or two, whatever it was later, I was watching the John F. Kennedy's funeral procession in Washington, D.C., and they said, we're switching to Dallas, Texas. They're moving Lee Harvey Oswald or whatever. So I'm sitting there next to my father. He was watching it with me. And the camera was zoomed in on what I thought was like a door. And it was actually, I think, an elevator. And then the door opens, and a police officer, I think on each side, I believe. Maybe not, maybe just one side. I can't remember now. But comes out with Lee Harvey Oswald, and there was tons of people around. This was in the garage of the Dallas police station. And so I'm watching it, and then when the camera pulls back, then I could see all these people. And I said to my father, my God, somebody's going to kill him. And my father said, yeah, eventually. I said, no, somebody's going to kill him now. Because I knew they couldn't have been showing the things they were showing of John F. Kennedy. All the radio and TV stations at that time, for days, they stopped their regular programming. And they were just, like the TV stations were just showing clips of John F. Kennedy and his children in the White House, in the Oval Office, his kids playing underneath the desk and stuff. And I knew that even if those were police officers, somebody would pull out a gun and somebody would kill him. You couldn't do that to people. You couldn't be showing them pictures of the, young president of the United States, with a beautiful wife and little kids, and playing with him and doing all kinds of stuff, and somebody wouldn't kill him. Even a police officer, somebody would, for sure. But anyway, when I said that, somebody's going to kill him right now or whatever, bang. And I remember my father picked up the telephone. They must have charged for, this is before the internet. Television hadn't been around that long. Well, I guess a few years. But my father immediately picked up the telephone. Well, I think I said, the damn Dallas Police Department, somebody needs to investigate. And my dad picked up the telephone, dialed Western Union. He didn't have to look it up, I don't think. Maybe dialed operator, I don't remember. And said, I want to send a telegram to Senator Stuart Symington, Washington, D.C., senator from Missouri. We were in Missouri. Demand immediate investigation of Dallas Police Department. So, how did I get on this subject? I do not know. That reminds me of something, and I even thought about making a little video just on that, but I'll make it now, put it in here. My grandson, I'll start to tell my grandson will say something, and then I'll think of something. I'll start to say something, and I say half a sentence, and he says, "I've heard that story before," and walks off. And I'm 75. I'm not senile yet. I don't have dementia yet. I don't have Alzheimer's yet. I know that I've told these stories before, but what he doesn't realize is that there is a lot more to the story, and I know I have told him this much of the story, but the story goes off into multiple ways. But I never get to, as soon as I say that, because you have to preface it, like I could say, John Galegas, I worked with at St. Joe Hospital. He was shot and killed. I've heard that story. No, okay, he walks away to play his video games or whatever. Well, and I don't remember him ever doing it on that story, but I'm trying to use that as an example. That story, no, you haven't. You heard this much. You haven't heard that there was a shooting before in the same parking lot at the same time. Same time at exactly 9:15 p.m. or whatever. You haven't heard that the hospital administrator or whatever of the hospital came in that morning and John's blood was on the ground and said they weren't going to do anything because you haven't heard that I had told the hospital administrator before something needed to be done. And you haven't heard that I sent every fucking doctor to this hospital administrator's office and blah, blah. So the things run off, but I never with my grandson. And not just with him. I get cut off. You can't cut me off. Well, you can leave, but I don't know that, something I've noticed with my grandson. especially with my grandson. Let's see, what can we give an example of? Okay, I had around here someplace, it's packed away someplace, a little model truck. It was a Dart truck. Dart truck was owned by, or they both were, Kenworth. Kenworth made the trucks you see on the highway, the 18-wheeler cab and stuff. But they also had the KW Dart, well, the Dart Truck Company, and they made trucks used for mining and other purposes. Hell, the truck, I worked in the body shop. The trucks we made, one tire would fill up this entire room. The trucks all would be the size of the apartment. And some coal haulers that we made were bigger than that. They were just gigantic. Big trucks. Big trucks. So anyway, I had this little model here, and my grandson, why do you have a toy truck? And I said, no, it's a model of a Dart truck. I worked in the body shop. I made these, these, and the body part here is where I worked. We made he said, no, you didn't. I said, what? And he says, you didn't build trucks. I said, yeah, I did. Why would I, And then I also built railroad cars, coal hauling railroad cars. Worked at a place twice, 2 different plants, same company. And now, why would I lie about something like that? I mean, if I said to you, well, when I went to the moon, okay, fucking liar. If I said, yeah, when I won the Congressional Medal, fucking liar or whatever. Of course, you got to be careful someday. You might run into somebody that has been to the moon or won medals. I worked with a guy that he didn't win the Congressional Medal of Honor. I worked with a guy that was in the Army, retired from the Army. He had been in Korea, and in Korea he was bayoneted, I think it was. Of course, he got the Purple Heart. I'm not sure. He got some other, I'm not sure what else he got, because he didn't say. Then he was in Vietnam, and he got shot in the face. And I really wouldn't have known about that, except I was a supervisor or whatever, and I sort of needed to know because he couldn't spell anything. So if fumes were coming into the hospital from a car or a truck that was outside, it was being sucked in through the air handling, or like we had when we had fires or whatever, he couldn't smell smoke. It also also affected, of course, his sense of taste. He really couldn't taste anything because of I think there was a little bit there, but I don't know. But anyway, so I mean, why would I lie about making trucks? Why would I lie about building railroad cars? So I think I've talked enough. 34 minutes, that's enough. There's a guy who makes videos that are 2 hours long on YouTube, and he's an interesting person. And I quite often watch, it's going, and then I do other things around, and I put his on, instead of music or instead of having TV and over there or whatever, I put that and listen to him talk and do things. And I need to do some things for sure around here. The room is really messed up because I don't have enough room to... I'm thinking about buying another desk. I could put stuff on it because I end up, when I'm doing stuff, putting everything on my bed. I mean, I have stuff on my bed. and then I need a nap and I have to clear my bed off, and then I put that stuff someplace else. I don't know if you can see. No, well, yeah, the corner. You can just see a corner of it. There's stuff all on the floor. So I better get off here and do a review. Thank you very much for watching. Please give thumbs up or thumbs down. Doesn't matter to me. Either way. But it lets me know, if you put thumbs up, okay, you liked it. Put thumbs down, you didn't like it for some reason. Leave a comment if you want to. Thank you very much.